Back, guys, to the Heroes of the Storm Road to BlizzCon qualifiers. Anna, that was a crazy game 1 between Stellar Lotus and Banana Bread, but thankfully we get a game 2 between them.
Yeah, Banana Bread really showing us the more creative side of Heroes with their composition so far today, which is really fun to cast. But I think what Stellar Lotus showed us is that with the standard composition and very strong gameplay, as well as understanding of your opposing team's creative composition, you can come out on top no matter how creative they can be.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that that game largely came down to the picks and bans. I mean, excellent play, of course, in making good decisions, game sense, knowing where Gazelle was marking, but really I think a lot of it was being able to pick that Johanna away, banning out the Abathur, and just realizing exactly what their opponents were up to. But it does look like we have already started the draft, which will be on Cursed Hollow, so let's go ahead and hop into that.
Let's do it.
All right.
This is our first Cursed Hollow game, which is exciting. I think it's a favorite map of mine. And we already see both teams reacting to this map. First of all, Banana Bread is saying, no Lost Vikings for you. Lost Viking can do a lot in terms of not only gathering experience, but also sneakily taking tributes on this Cursed Hollow map. And Stellar Lotus again saying, okay, seriously though, you're not going to play Abathur, so if you want to be cute this time, you're still going to have to do it without Abathur.
Yes, and even also picking Brightwing on top of that. So still doing exactly what they need to do, which is saying you can't do this composition the entire way you want it. And I'm wondering if this time Banana Bread will say, okay, we can't quite make this comp work the way that we want it, so we're going to do something else instead. For now, they're going to go with Illidan and Tassadar, so 2 heroes that we've still seen them play to great success before. They still have at least 1 promote so far, although Brightwing was the other one. Whether they'll pick Gazelle for a second one, I don't know. I guess that remains to be seen, as Stellar Lotus now has 2 picks of their own.
The thing is, the promote was a really strong strategy, but it didn't work for them last time. So I have to wonder if Banana Bread is still going to be looking for those kinds of things. Obviously, they can't get as much without Brightwing on their side, but I don't know. Stellar Lotus now has 2 picks. They have prioritized in the past their damage dealers. Wouldn't be surprised to see them do that again, but they also have been very good at picking what they know their opponents are going to want. So there's the Jaina, that burst damage that they've been looking for, and what do you think they'll be doing next, Gilly?
I think it would be really beneficial if they went ahead and got Johanna again. They played her to really great success, but this is a great pick too. They threw a great Sylvanas last game, and she's great on this map because her hero trait is basically a mini version of the battleground objective, which is to stop structures from firing. So they're going to have a lot of potential for pushing. They have that Sylvanas Brightwing, which is going to be great in lane 2 for pushing lanes. Even Jaina does a lot of damage to structures, as she can apply her Frostbite to structures too, which will cause them to be chilled, adding extra damage, but it's more ban time. So I'm wondering if Banana Bread, knowing that they have them pick next, will ban a tank and then grab a warrior of their own, trying to take some of the warriors at least out of the pool, making Stellar Lotus choose from maybe some of the lesser used ones. And there they will ban Muradin, so I guess that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, he's been, look at those matching beards from the Vikings and Muradin right next to each other. That's so cute. But yeah, Muradin is a well-known...
Falstad were here.
Aw, yeah. Muradin, well known as someone who's very capable of being a solo tank on a team, so taking that away from Stellar Lotus. But again, I think you're right, Gilly, that picking Johanna is probably their objective anyway, but Team Banana Bread maybe doesn't want to take her out of the running, maybe looking for her themselves. So we'll see what Stellar Lotus will ban in response. It's going to be Uther. So they have Brightwing, who's a great healer. They've banned Uther, who's a great healer. And now they're saying you do have a support in Tassadar, Banana Bread, but you're going to need someone who can do a little more healing probably, and we're going to make sure that these 2 are not in your options.
Yeah, they're taking out that Divine Shield, which is often taken with that Illidan, and the applicability of the stuns that come from Uther helps a lot as well in any team composition. So I think that's a great idea. We often see this with the second bans, is banning something that a team already has, so that they really get to control that part of the picks. And that's exactly what Banana Bread's doing as well. They've picked up Johanna. We know that they love her as a warrior, so that's going to be great. I think next we'll probably see... So what they'll do is they'll either get their full support, and then they'll have their last pick to be able to deal with whatever Stellar Lotus brings, or they'll go ahead and get their whatever damage dealer they want, so that they for sure know that they can have them picking up their support last.
Yeah, either one would make a lot of sense to me. I hope that we see a damage dealer here, because that's where I've really seen Banana Bread struggle. And right now, they have a team composition that could really stand up in a team fight. Okay, but they're going to go with Rhaegar as a support, which also a good idea, so that they can have that last pick as a flex to deal with whatever Stellar Lotus comes out with, because there's still a lot of directions they could take their composition.
Very true. So we do have Rhaegar, who will be healing up the Illidan. A lot of people like him with the Ancestral Heal on the Illidan, but a lot of people have been taking Uther for the Divine Shield even more often, so we'll have to see if he can keep up with that, as at least he does have the shields from Tassadar to be able to help with that sustainability. Stellar Lotus are going to choose their warrior, as it will be a Nubarak. They may even pick up another one here. They've got a lot of different options. They could go with something like a Tyrande, which then would help amplify the damage that Jaina and Sylvanas did. They could go for another warrior, which we often see within a Nubarak, and it could be something like a Tyrael as well. Or they could go for one more damage dealer, and that's what they're going to do. And now they've got so much potential for damage, but they've only got an Nubarak to try to keep people off these damage dealers, and Brightwing to try to keep them all healed up, because Kael'thas and Jaina are very squishy and have very little escape, and Sylvanas has the Banshees, but she's squishy too.
Yeah, this is a ham comp. This is a comp that's like, YOLO, we're just going to do as much damage as we can. Man, Banana Bread loves their Mercy. All right, well, I was going to say that, like, Stellar Lotus here looks exposed. They look dangerous, but they look exposed. So Banana Bread could take advantage of that. And apparently they want to do that by using Murky. Maybe they feel like the Octograb could be a really defining factor in team fights. Maybe they feel like his constant bugging, annoying style could work really well against them. Or do you think it's just a signature move that they feel really comfortable playing with Murky? What do you think they're thinking here, Gilly?
I mean, Octograb, if they can Octograb one of those squishy damage dealers, then they would be able to, I mean, Illidan would be able to be there in a heartbeat. So they have that, but at this point I kind of think they're just like, we play with Murky. That's our thing. We play with Murky. Remember the Banana Bread, guys, because there's going to be a little bit of fish in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they do manage to pull this off, then they'll be the team that went through the bracket with Murky, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Though again, I can't say it enough that Murky's not the joke that he once was in the hero community. And by joke, I don't mean like bad hero. I just mean that people generally accepted that in the current meta he couldn't be very viable. And he certainly is not that anymore. He has lots of ways to be viable, but I would not have predicted they would pick him in this composition. I am excited to see them make it work. And I don't think we can count him out, but those damage dealers on Stellar Lotus can make quick work of him over and over.
Yeah, he'll have the safety bubble, and Banana Bread's Murky has been going slime build all day. So we're going to have more AoE damage, which if Kael'thas and Jaina and Sylvanas are in their little grouping to get healed by the aura of Brightwing, then it's entirely possible that he can get in there, throw a bunch of damage down, get a pufferfish, maybe even Octograb one of them, get slime all over the place, and then deal a lot of damage to them with Illidan as a cleanup crew.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the shields from Tassadar as well, which will keep not only Illidan very healthy, but also could be used on Murky as well. Because, I mean, I guess, well, Tassadar also can do a fair amount of damage himself. So between Illidan, Tassadar, and Murky, we may have more danger than we think looking into the faces of those heroes that we normally don't see as the heavy-hitting threats.
Yeah, that's true. But no Abathur, who really kept Illidan, you know, propelled Illidan to victory for Banana Bread last time they played with an Illidan. He also was pushing down structures a lot with his monstrosity, which got them ahead in experience. So maybe Murky will be doing the same thing, pushing down some structures. We'll have to see. We are starting up this game, so I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to increase the size of poor Stellar Lotus's name. So really quickly, what's this battleground all about, Anna?
Well, this is a favorite of many pros because they feel like it's very balanced and a good testing ground for team compositions. This one has 6 spawning points on both sides of the map, both sides being top and bottom, 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom for tributes. These tributes are they don't defend themselves like the temples that we saw in Sky Temple or anything like that. They're just little channeling points where you, as your team, want to go grab those. You want to grab 3 of them in the phases that you will get opportunities to do that. And then once you do, you'll be cursing your opponents with the help of the Raven Lord. And that will mean that their buildings cannot shoot at you and their minions only have 1 HP. So that's a huge advantage when you want to get pushing done. So that's something that's going to be really important, especially for Banana Bread, who's traditionally been a team that's concerned mostly with pushing over team fighting.
That's exactly right. And speaking of Banana Bread, let's introduce them. They are in blue with Strat on Tassadar, Bomber Dog playing Johanna, Doggenstein playing the dog, Rhaegar, and Steinberg on that Murky. And in the bottom, Renegade will be on that Illidan.
And leading by 1 in this series is Stellar Lotus, wearing red. We are going to have Wargreymon on Kael'thas, Nightmare playing Sylvanas, Haas playing Brightwing, Toad Jammin' Earl on Jaina, and Kiefer's playing Anubarak.
And here we go into the talents. Brightwing has picked up Bribe, so we'll be playing a Bribewing style where she can pick up the Merc camps very easily when she builds up those stacks of Bribe. And also, Kael'thas has chosen to go Mana Addict, so looking for sustainability there, but won't have the sustainability from the Fel Infusion that he would have, which heals you up whenever you hit those Verdant Spheres. So, going to be looking more in terms of sustainability for mana versus health.
Yeah, and we're seeing, again, this is one of my favorite talents right now on a newer hero, Night Takes Pawn from Johanna. She's going to be able to do some good laning as well.
Murky actually picking up this Bubble Breeze once again. I think that's been pretty standard in Steinberg's build all day. Looking to get away from fights when he needs to a little bit faster. But for now, it looks like the lanes are very even. So we're going to have Tassadar here in mid. That's pretty standard though, so that way he can hit that Oracle and see if anybody from Stellar Lotus is moving through, trying to get a rotation and maybe pick up a takedown.
Absolutely. This is what we see a lot of times on this map. Teams just really looking to make sure that the lanes can take care of themselves if they have to run out of them to grab a tribute, and also being very concerned with gathering experience at this point in the game, because once the tributes do spawn, your team members will have to leave the lane in order to go grab it, and if you leave a lane empty, you're going to be missing out on experience. So a lot of times we'll see teams decide it's not even worth it to go for tributes at certain points in the game because they don't want to miss out on gathering the experience that will bring them to the talent tiers that will make them more viable in team fights.
Both teams hit level 4 like at the same exact time and picked up their talents as well. 2 Envenoms once again, a possible 3rd. Remember the Brightwing can get Envenom, so they might be thinking of stacking that, but that would mean that they would not be picking up that promote that we so often see. So Brightwing taking the time to think about what they're wanting to be going for, whether it is that burst damage or if they want to try to make sure they have the lane push. But Tassadar did go ahead and pick up the promote, and we do have a tribute spawning, Anna.
I'm excited to see whether the teams will commit to this. It looks like Johanna already standing there looking to channel, and we are not even going to have an answer from Stellar Lotus. They have no interest in that tribute. Banana Bread is going to grab it, but remember, it takes 3 to get a curse, so they have plenty of time to look for other tributes later.
I think I know why they decided not to respond. It was all the way up top and bottom. Stellar Lotus already had a really good push going on, so they decided to stay there and go with it. And that netted them 1 tower already. So they're probably feeling pretty comfortable about that. They're a little bit ahead in experience. As long as they can get ahead in experience, make sure that they don't get behind. That's the most important thing. Then they will be able to contest later tributes. Like you said, it takes 3 to make a curse.
Absolutely. When you decide not to take a tribute, the important thing is to look and see, did we get enough of an experience lead from that decision? They didn't get a ton of experience lead. I think taking down a structure was worth it, but just barely. As we see now, the teams are almost neck and neck in experience again. We have another tribute spawning. This time it's down in the bottom lane. And we see that Jaina from Stellar Lotus is still at the top and doesn't look like she's planning on coming down, so we may see them not really commit to this one either.
Wow, yeah. Murky's not there either, but he's having to contend with, well, Sylvanas having to contend with him. So there's only 3 people here. They've been stopping it. I mean, it has not been picked up yet, but they are losing a little bit of health, and Illidan is on the chase of Keepers, who is getting rather low. Nightmare's coming in to try to help with this, though, and a great Envenom is going to ensure that they're able to pick up that takedown on Illidan. Now they're on the chase, trying to catch up to Tassadar, who will dimensional shift away. Actually gives them a little bit of the chase there, going straight up to mid instead. But with that takedown, they were able to also pick up a tower, and that means that they are now getting ahead in terms of experience.
Yeah, interesting that they spent so much time engaging over the tribute, maybe just as a distraction, I'm not sure, but there really wasn't a situation in which they were going to get much out of that, especially once Banana Bread did channel the tribute. But certainly their experience lead means that they're doing something right at this point. They're about a half a level ahead.
I'd like to point out that Brightwing did not go Envenom nor promote, instead picked up Protective Shield at 4. So realizing that their team is pretty squishy and trying to just make sure they have a little more sustainability, even grabbing Cleanse at level 7. So not going to go for that gust of healing, instead realizing, hey guys, we're playing a Murky again. A Cleanse might be really nice versus that Octo Grab. So they grabbed that, and that's going to be really nice. Just wait until you see how awesome that is.
I think it is going to be pretty awesome, Gilly. We do have a 3rd tribute spawning, so what that means is that if Banana Bread grabs this, they will curse Stellar Lotus. So it's very likely that Stellar Lotus will commit to this tribute more than they have in the past, because it would be a real detriment to them if they lost it. Looks like the teams are trying to position around it, although we do see Sylvanas staying down here in the bottom. Oh, no, finally deciding to run on up there. So we will see an engagement over this tribute now.
Stellar Lotus have got to play a little safe until Sylvanas gets here, though. They were trying really hard to get to 10, but now, unfortunately, that does mean that they're getting a little bit low, as they still don't have Sylvanas there. So Toe Jam and Earl will go down, as does Anubarak, and so does Kael'thas and Brightwing. Only Murky has died here now. Nightmare is only just now showing up. I have to wonder if that was the best decision there, as coming in a little bit late there has cost them 4 heroes and a curse.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was like that gif that was going around, the when you show up late to a team fight gif. Sylvanas just came up and said, oh, just kidding, bye-bye. And really, if she had just stayed at the bottom and done a lot of pushing there, she probably could have taken down some structures, as she does have that ability that will stop them from firing. So that would have been a better decision if she had not run immediately up to the team fight, which probably would have been even better overall.
Yeah, agreed. Now, Murky very forward, picking up that vision tower. We've got a big pushes happening here in all lanes, but a really good defense so far from Stellar Lotus. No forts have been taken down at all, although Murky is a little bit on the chase here for Nightmare. Wants to pick up this kill on Sylvanas. Does have Octo Grab available, so will he do it? He's got her pretty low. She's going to Banshee away, trying to catch her. There is the Octo Grab. Will he be able to kill her before it's done? No, he will not. Nightmare trying to get away. Ooh, getting so close. Both will go down. Oh, poor Sylvanas.
We've got an engagement going down around this boss here. Only Keepers was contesting against 4 members of Banana Bread to try to keep this this boss from being captured, but it looks like Banana Bread will be able to capture that boss despite Haas and Wargreymon coming to the aid of Keepers. But pretty impressive that they were able to that Keepers was able to stay alive that whole time, actually.
So, awesome job, Keepers, and awesome job, Steinberg, because that Murky play versus Sylvanas has got to be so frustrating. I think we actually even saw her throw Envenom on Murky. That's when you know you're having a bad day, when you have to use Envenom on a Murky. But we do have heroic abilities. Let's go ahead and name them really fast. For Stellar Lotus, we have Phoenix, Wailing Arrow, Blink Heal, Water Elemental, and the Web Blast from Nubarak. And then Ancestral Heal, the Octo Grab, Metamorphosis, Blessed Shield for Johanna, and Archon for Tassadar.
The Ancestral Healing can be such a deal breaker in terms of team fights. You can basically bring someone back from the dead. So that's where Rhaegar's healing power really comes from. That's probably why we saw them pick him up as their main support. Tassadar then can focus a lot on damage and, as we see, lane pushing.
Yeah, definitely right. Now, Keeper's a little bit caught out. He is pretty squishy. Remember that. Now he's going to be Octo-Grabbed. He did get cleanse. It was a great cleanse, and follow-up was great as well with the Wailing Arrow. Tassadar and Murky are down, but so is Nubarak. But now they've survived a lot of the onslaught. There's really only Ancestral Healing left from the side of Banana Bread, but they do have those level 13 talents. Rhaegar will go down, though, and so Stellar Lotus coming back a little bit, going to pick up level 13 and pick up those talents of their own.
Now we do see even experience, and this is where it starts to get a little scary if you're Banana Bread, because we know that damage dealers tend to be really great at level 16, and very notably, Kael'thas is a disaster at level 16. He can do so much damage. Steinberg trying to get a pick on Wargreymon, but ends up going down. The poor little Murky just gargles his way to death. But yeah, so we're looking toward level 16. Both teams just hitting 13, but I would say that Banana Bread really needs to make something happen now to make sure they have the advantage going into level 16.
Hey, Anna.
Yeah.
You said he's a disaster. Does that mean facing Kael'thas at 16 is like a hot mess?
Well, yeah.
Yes. Because he's Kael'thas. Anyway, Tribute is spawning. We're just going to go right past that. Tribute spawning. Stellar Lotus in a great position to pick it up too. This rock outcropping really means that you kind of have to funnel in through this very scary area. And there's no gravel bomb this time to kind of throw in there. And they actually even have a Phoenix as well that they could throw down here to zone it as well. And so far, they're not using it though. All heroics are up for both sides. Nightmare was starting to channel. There goes the Metamorphosis in, and so many people stunned, but Nightmare has survived, and Renegade's getting very, very low. They will be able to pick up the kill on him. Now Bomber Dog, so out of position, will go down as well. There is a second pickup on Johanna. Nobody down yet on the side of Stellar Lotus. They're chasing after Doggenstein, who has Ghost Wolf trying to get away. A really good Octo-Grab from Murky. Actually used the Octo-Grab to body block everyone else and save his teammates, so that was a pretty cool move.
Yeah, very cool. I think, though, that it's really worth noting how much Stellar Lotus wanted everyone to come into that little U-shape so that Kael'thas could throw Phoenix down, thus preventing Banana Bread from trying to channel the Tribute and also doing lots of damage that allowed them to turn that fight. They're all looking really healthy now as they look to try to take the boss from Banana Bread. Steinberg is there to try to contest, but nobody's paying attention to poor little Murky. They are going to be able to grab this boss, and that's going to be a great advantage for them as this boss is now going to turn to the side of the map it was born on. And, it's going to turn to this top lane, and it's going to be doing some damage to this top lane of Banana Bread, which hasn't seen much attack so far.
Oh man, and with the Sylvanas right here to escort this boss, no structures are even attacking it. Even the minions are going to be taken out. And so this is going to do so much work. This fort is going down so incredibly quickly. Even the egg is gone, so poor Murky can't come in here and try to cause a little bit of havoc. But the Tribute at least did spawn in a location much more favorable for Banana Bread as it was down at the bottom. So they're at least going to pick that up. And now they really need to focus on trying to defend this boss, catch back up, get level 16 as well, because their opponents have it, and if they get into a team fight with them having that, with Kael'thas having that ignite, that is not going to be pretty.
Absolutely not. Interesting that Stellar Lotus has been so laissez-faire about Tribute so far. I think they're more focused on their ability to deal damage and push as a team than they are on using this battlefield objective. But they also know that they don't really have to worry about it until Banana Bread has 2 Tributes and it's threatening them. Right now it's just 1-1 as they continue to push and do take down poor Murky one more time.
Flame Strike on a Murky at this point is not even fair. It's like whole health value. There's going to be the first keep of the game. And that means that catapults will be pushing down this lane. And no promote to escort those catapults at all, but even without that, they're still going to constantly push in favor of Stellar Lotus as long as they still have structures up on that side. So that's something that Banana Bread will have to be watching for the rest of the game. But Banana Bread do have 16. They could possibly give up this Tribute, though looks like they're starting to head here now, maybe. But they don't have to worry about getting straight here, because even if Stellar Lotus got it, it would not be a curse.
Yeah, it looks like it spawned right in the lap of Stellar Lotus, so they were able to position themselves as they like around it. But Banana Bread is all here, and it looks like they're looking for a fight. They do have level 16, so they're going to be at the same talent tiers, and they seem to be confident about their ability to make use of that.
Well, Murky went down, and that's no Octograb until he gets back here, and he has a long way to run. This is the time when Stellar Lotus could get something done. For now, they're just zoning, trying to let Haas pick that up, and there they go. They're going to have that second tribute. That was a really great pickup. The egg was so far back, and that enabled them to not have to worry about that Octograb, be a lot more aggressive so that they could pick up that tribute and get back, clear up the lanes, and start working toward level 20.
I like that they didn't chase, though. I like that Stellar Lotus was willing to say, we don't need to put ourselves in danger. We're already a level ahead. We're going to get this tribute because you had to back off. We're fine just doing that and then going about our business on the other side of the map. We don't need to put ourselves in danger or take risks right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They want to try to just turn the map red, pick up the lanes, get them pushed in their advantage, and then they know that they're the ones that are closer to level 20. That means that it puts Banana Bread in the position of wanting to get a team fight before their opponents do get 20, or catch back up and experience some other way. They're pushing the lane here on bottom. That fort is pretty low, but now a tribute is spawning, and this is the big one, because if Stellar Lotus can pick this up, they're going to get a curse.
I don't know if you mentioned this already, Gilly, but we do have 2 Blood for Bloods on the side of Stellar Lotus as well as Critterize, so their ability to do things in team fights is only increasing at this point.
Yeah, they have the potential for a lot more damage, and a lot of damage very quickly with those Blood for Bloods, even 2 Envenoms as well. So they have a lot of potential to throw a ton of damage on somebody, maybe even that Johanna tried to take her down as quickly as possible. She's coming in, there was the Blessed Shield, but a great Phoenix is going to zone so many people out. Murky is down, so is Tassadar as well. Bomber Dog getting very low, there were the Blood for Bloods on Johanna, just like I mentioned. So she'll be down. Renegade, poor Illidan trying to stay alive with that Rhaegar, will go down as well. Murky is back, he did place his egg in a more favorable place. He's trying to pick up a takedown on somebody, but won't be able to do so now. Oh, the egg is right there. They didn't see him spawn by. The egg is safe for now.
Wow, that was close. I can't believe they didn't see the Murky spawn. Very lucky for him. Now we see a big push from Stellar Lotus, bypassing the turrets and deciding to just go straight into the base with this curse. They're looking to take down this fort behind the wall.
Yeah, that's really smart because there's already a huge minion push in the middle. So what they can do is they can put a ton of damage, use the time where heroes aren't up to take out that keep, move around, take out as many towers as they can, and then push back around and help the minions if needed. And they might even instead look to pick up that boss instead. You gotta be a little bit careful. Their opponents are back up, but the opponents are having to deal with a really huge minion push there in mid still. So they're posturing around the boss. It looks like they will be looking to take it.
They did finally see that egg, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken. Shouldn't they have?
No, Murky moved it.
Oh, he did. Okay. Well, that was a missed opportunity then from Stellar Lotus, but they did take the opportunity to grab the boss. Although Banana Bread was poking around saying, hey, stop it, that's ours, don't. They didn't have anything really to back it up. Now they're having to spread out and defend in lanes. We have Illidan in the top, Rhaegar here in the mid, and the rest of the team is down at the bottom, going to deal with another push from Stellar Lotus down here.
Yeah, Stellar Lotus are 20. They were able to get so much experience with picking up that keep and the towers around it as well. Even the middle keep, the only one remaining, is nearly dead too, but they don't care about that when they've got a boss here pushing straight into the core, as well as 5 members of their team. There goes the Archon, going to try to throw one last attempt at a defense. They do take out a new Barak, but Illidan is already down. Haas very low, staying toward the back, and a blink heal in to keep Toe Jam and Arrow up, and this will be it. Stellar Lotus is going to move on to the next round of this competition.
Wow. A very cool game, very creative strategies from Banana Bread, but overall I think just a very decisive performance from Stellar Lotus, showing that not only do they have a really good understanding of how to draft against their opponent's Banana Bread, but they have great map awareness, great skill in this game. All props to them.
Yes, definitely so. I think really we should give some props especially to Haas on that Brightwing as well. That's got to be scary to have a new Barak, Jaina, Sylvanas, and Kael'thas on your team and be like, yeah, I got to keep all these people alive, yay! So that's really, really great. Healing by Haas. Of course, Brightwing with that aura healing has to make sure that she's in the correct location so that the aura can hit as many people as possible. She even did that without that gust of healing, that extra healing. So it really was just her regular heals, a protective shield, and then that blink heal as well. So really well done there. Well done by everybody on Stellar Lotus, as they're going to get to move on. And I'm not sure. I'm going to check out the bracket and see if we know who they'll be playing next. Any final thoughts on that match as I look for that?
Well, I want to also give some props to Banana Bread. I think it's really important that people are looking to innovate on the meta that's happening right now, and certainly the insistence on picking Murky is an innovation in and of itself. I think that Stellar Lotus kind of denied Banana Bread what they would have liked to have done by consistently saying, no Abathur for you, I'm sorry. But I do want to give them props for playing around with different combinations of heroes, and I would say that if they could really get their combinations on lock with a lot more practice, maybe these compositions could have been viable against Stellar Lotus.
Great points indeed. And Stellar Lotus, from that, will be moving on. They will be going up against Vanquish, and I believe we'll be sticking with them. So I think that we will go ahead and cast that next one. In the top part of the bracket, just an update for you guys. Cloud9, Maelstrom, Cognitive Gaming, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and Zevron are all in the round of 16 from that top half of the bracket. We're in the second part, so still in the top half as well, but we are going to be moving on. Stellar Lotus will be going up against Vanquish, and we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have that for you. See you guys soon.